The ocean, something that takes up 71% of the world, and we've only been able to explore 5% of it. So who knows what creepy creatures lurk in the deep, waiting to be discovered. And yeah, I know I've already covered an ocean iceberg before on the channel, but that one was ocean mysteries, and this one is just the general ocean. And also, why not just do another one since the ocean is interesting? And it'll include weird stories, creepy facts, and other interesting things. So it'll be similar, but different. I mean, it's the ocean, one of the biggest things in the world, so there will be more than enough new info to cover. And many of you have suggested going deeper and in more depth and detail for each entry, so that's what I plan on doing for this video. I'll just go into more detail with everything. And also, if you don't know how an iceberg works, well, it starts off with common and well-known things, and near the bottom, it has some of the craziest and most obscure topics in the ocean. Alright, I'm excited to get into the video, so let's dive into the ultimate ocean iceberg explained. And also, before we get into the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 250 subscribers before the end of the year, and I think we can do it, so please subscribe. Thanks, and alright, now into the iceberg. Tier 1, the 80%. 80% of the ocean is undiscovered, roughly. Although it is more like 80 to 95%, the exact percentage may vary depending on who you ask or just what people qualify as discovered or undiscovered. The ocean covers about 71% of the Earth's surface, yet much of it remains unexplored and unmapped, especially in the deep sea. Only a fraction of the ocean floor has been thoroughly studied and mapped with modern technology, leaving vast areas unseen by human eyes. In fact, it's estimated that less than 5% of the world's oceans have been explored in detail. Although the reason it says 80% as this entry is because like 15 to 20% of it has been kind of explored in semi-decent detail, not in like perfect detail. I don't know, it's kind of confusing depending on the person you ask and the resource you get it from. The deep ocean in particular also poses significant challenges due to exploration, such as extreme pressures, darkness, and very cold temperatures make it almost impossible for forms of life and difficult for humans to explore directly. As a result, much of our knowledge about the deep sea comes from remote sensing technologies like sonar mapping and remotely operated vehicles, such as ROVs, is what they're called, equipped with cameras and sensors. And despite these challenges, discoveries in the ocean's depths continue to astound scientists and deepen our understanding of marine ecosystems. From bizarre creatures adapted to extreme environments to previously unknown geological features, each expedition reveals new facets of the ocean's complexity. In addition to biological and geological discoveries, understanding the ocean's depths is actually pretty crucial for unraveling its role in regulating Earth's climate and supporting life on the planet. The deep sea plays a vital role in global nutrient cycling and heat distribution. And also, many aspects of these processes remain poorly understood, so it's kind of important that we go down there and try to figure out what's happening. Efforts to explore and understand the ocean are ongoing, driven by scientific curiosity, environmental concerns, and economic interest. International collaborations such as the Magnapinna Foundation GEBCO Seabed 2030 projects aim to map the entire ocean floor by the year 2030, which would be insane if we actually were able to do that within roughly the next 5 to 6 years. That would just be crazy if we knew everything that was down there. Giant Oarfish. In the depths of the world's oceans dwells the giant oarfish, a creature both biologically remarkable and also culturally significant. Scientifically known as the Regalsius glenson, it holds the title of being the longest bony fish alive, with individuals of the fish reaching lengths of up to 11 meters or 36 feet or more. Despite its imposing size, the giant oarfish is elusive and rarely encountered alive, making it a subject of fascination and mystery. One of the distinctive features of the giant oarfish is its long, ribbon-like body, adorned with vibrant scales and a striking red dorsal fin that runs the length of its back. This fin kind of flows gracefully through the water, resembling the motion of oars rowing through water, hence the name oarfish. These deep-sea giants are typically found in the mesopelagic or bathypelagic zones of the ocean, descending to depths of 200 to 1,000 meters, which is about 660 to 3,300 feet in the ocean or more. Their elusive nature in deep-sea habitat make them almost impossible for scientists to study, and much of what is known about giant oarfish comes from rare sightings, specimens washed ashore, or individuals accidentally caught by fishermen. In addition to their biological marvel, giant oarfish also carry cultural and mythological significance, often intertwined with superstitions and folklore. Throughout history, these majestic creatures have been associated with various omens and portents, leading to their portrayal as harbingers of doom in some cultures. Their rarity and the circumstances under which they are often encountered contribute to their association with superstition. In many traditions, sightings of oarfish are believed to foretell natural disasters such as earthquakes or tsunamis, fueling the perception of oarfish as an ominous creature and kind of just an evil thing. Osborne Reef. The Osborne Reef is an artificial reef located off the coast of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, in the United States. Initially conceived as an innovative solution to environmental and economic challenges, the reef has become a cautionary tale about the unintended consequences of large-scale marine engineering projects. In the 1970s, the Broward County government and private contractors undertook a project to dispose of millions of disregarded automobile tires by creating an artificial reef. The plan was to bundle the tires together and sink them offshore, providing habitat for marine life while simultaneously addressing the issue of tire disposal. However, the execution of the Osborne Reef project encountered numerous setbacks and oversights. Instead of remaining securely anchored to the ocean floor, the tire bundles began to break apart and scatter across the seabed. Storms and strong currents further exacerbated the situation, causing the tires to migrate and inflict damage on natural coral reefs and other marine ecosystems. Over the years, efforts to mitigate and get rid of the environmental impact of the Osborne Reef have been ongoing. Cleanup initiatives have involved divers removing tires from the ocean floor, but the sheer scale of the problem has made it a daunting and ongoing challenge. Despite all of the efforts of people involved, large quantities of tires still litter the seabed, posing a threat to marine life and habitats. The Osborne Reef serves as a tale that's kind of funny because who would just be like, oh yeah, let's just throw a bunch of trash into the ocean because that's going to work? And also just a tale of just engineering projects gone wrong. It highlights the risks associated with large-scale interventions in marine ecosystems and the need for sustainable solutions to environmental problems. In recent years, there has been a renewed interest in addressing the legacy of the Osborne Reef and trying to find ways to remediate its environmental impact and get rid of all the tires still sitting there on the ocean floor. Great Pacific Garbage Patch. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch is a vast area of oceanic debris located in the North Pacific Ocean. It's insane how much trash there is in the Pacific Ocean, and there is this huge garbage patch floating out there. The Big Garbage Patch, which is comprised of a vast accumulation of plastic waste, disregarded fishing gear, and other debris trapped by ocean currents, stretching across an area estimated to be between 700,000 to 15 million square kilometers, which is about 270,000 to 5.8 square miles, which is an insane amount of space. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch is not a solid mass of trash, as many might think, but rather a diffuse concentration of suspended particles, mostly plastic, floating at or just below the ocean surface. So it's not like many might think of just one huge garbage patch that is visible from, an over perspective, but it's just right below the surface. The patch is primarily situated within the North Pacific subtropical gyre, a system of rotating ocean currents that draw in debris from across the Pacific Basin. Plastic pollution poses significant threats to marine life, ecosystems, and human health. As plastics break down into smaller pieces, they can be easily ingested by marine animals, leading to entanglement, suffocation, and digestive blockages, and just killing the animals. Additionally, plastics can leach harmful chemicals into the water, bioaccumulate in the food chain, and transport invasive species across vast distances. Efforts to address the Great Pacific Garbage Patch and marine plastic pollution in general are multifaceted and very complex. Cleanup initiatives such as ocean cleanup systems and beach cleanups aim to try and remove the debris from the environment and prevent further accumulation. However, these efforts face significant challenges due to the sheer scale of the problem. I mean, it's up to 15 million square miles. That's insane. The remote location of the garbage patch, which also makes it very hard since it's in the middle of the ocean, and that's very hard to get to, and then remove trash and then move it to land, preventing plastic pollution at its source is probably the best way to address this in the long term. This involves measures such as reducing single-use plastics, improving waste management infrastructure, and promoting recycling and circular economy practices, and raising awareness about the environmental impacts of plastic consumption, and just try to remove some of the garbage patch over a long period of time, but at this point, it might be here to stay. Lake of Despair. The hot tub of despair, officially known as the jacuzzi of despair, is a weird underwater phenomenon discovered in the Gulf of Mexico. Located off the coast of Louisiana, this brine pool earned its ominous nickname due to its extreme conditions, which make it inhospitable for most forms of marine life. The hot tub of despair is essentially a highly saline pool of water that formed on the seafloor as a result of natural geological processes. It is characterized by its high salinity, high temperature, and low oxygen levels, kind of making it like a hot tub as the name implies. The salinity of the pool is estimated to be about 4 or 5 times higher than that of the surrounding seawater, so it's just really salty. What makes the hot tub of despair so fascinating and deadly is its combination of chemical and physical conditions. The pool's high salinity causes it to be denser than the surrounding water, creating a distinct layer that traps organisms that inadvertently swim into it. Once trapped, the lack of oxygen and high concentrations of hydrogen sulfide in the pool's water quickly suffocates and kills most marine life. So it's actually kind of scary because, I mean, if you're a fish just swimming along or something, and then you kind of go between that gap of outside of the pool and inside of the pool, you're stuck in there until you die. Old sea monsters. Old sea monsters' stories and tales have captivated human imagination for centuries and hundreds of years, sparking legends and myths that are still pretty relevant to this day. From ancient civilizations to modern times, sailors and explorers have shared tales of mysterious creatures lurking far beneath the waves, often embellished with fantastical details and exaggerated accounts. One of the most iconic sea monsters from history is the Kraken, a legendary creature said to dwell off the coast of Norway and Greenland. Described as a massive cephalopod with enormous tentacles capable of dragging ships to their doom. The Kraken inspired fear and awe among sailors navigating treacherous waters. While the Kraken is now recognized as a mythical creature, it likely originated from sightings of real marine animals such as giant squids or colossal squids. Another famous sea monster is the Leviathan, a monstrous sea serpent mentioned in ancient texts with religious scriptures. Described as a fearsome creature with scales, sharp teeth, and immense size, the Leviathan symbolized chaos and kind of unknown forces in various mythologies. While interpretations of the Leviathan vary across different cultures, it is often associated with the sea and the untamed wilderness of the deep ocean. In addition to mystical creatures, misidentifications of real animals have also contributed to the lore of sea monsters. For example, sightings of large marine mammals such as whales or manatees may have interpreted as sea serpents or other fantastical creatures by sailors unfamiliar with such animals. Similarly, encounters with exotic species like giant oarfish, which we just talked about a little bit ago, or rare deep-sea fish could have fueled rumors of sea monsters prowling the depths. Throughout history, sea monsters have been a prominent feature of nautical folklore and literature, inspiring countless tales of exploration and adventure. From epic poems like the Odyssey to the classic novels like Moby Dick, sea monsters have played a central role in shaping maritime mythology and shaping our understanding of the ocean's mysteries. While many sea monster stories remain firmly rooted in legend and just myth, some have been debunked or explained by modern science. Purple orb. The purple orb in the ocean refers to the discovery of mysterious gelatinous spheres found floating in the depths of the sea. These orbs, often purple or translucent in color, have been encountered by researchers exploring the ocean's depths and have sparked curiosity and speculation about their origins in nature and why they exist and where they even came from. One notable instance of the purple orb phenomenon occurred in 2016 when scientists abound the exploration vessel Nautilus, operated by the Ocean Exploration Trust, discovered a series of purple orbs floating off the coast of California. These spherical objects, ranging in size from a few centimeters to several inches in diameter, were found at the depths of around 3,000 feet or 900 meters in the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary. Initially, the identity of the purple orbs puzzled researchers, as they did not resemble any known marine organisms. Speculation ranged from newly discovered species of jellyfish to unusual forms of marine algae, or even extraterrestrial origins. However, further investigation revealed that the purple orbs were likely just the egg sacs of a previously unidentified species of deep-sea octopus. The discovery of the purple orbs just shows how big the ocean is and how we can just stumble upon something we've never seen before. It's pretty crazy. I wonder how much more stuff we have never seen in the ocean before and is still waiting to be discovered. 400-year-old shark. The discovery of a 400-year-old shark sounds like stuff of legends and just not possible, but it's actually real. The Greenland shark is a large, slow-growing species that inhabits the cold waters of the North Atlantic and Arctic Oceans. It has a remarkable ability to survive in extreme environments for a long time, thanks in part to its unique physiology, which includes a slow metabolism and low body temperature. In recent years, scientists have used radiocarbon dating techniques to estimate the ages of Greenland sharks by analyzing the lenses of their eyes. Kind of like tree rings, where you can kind of count the rings of the tree, the layers of a shark's eye lens accumulate over time, providing a record of its growth and development and how old it is. In 2016, researchers published a study in the journal that revealed the astonishing longevity of Greenland sharks. By analyzing the eye lenses of 28 different specimens, scientists estimated that some individuals could live for over 400 years. Alright, now on to Tier 2, Bermuda Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle, also known as the Devil's Triangle, is a region in the western part of the North Atlantic Ocean bounded between Bermuda, Miami, and Puerto Rico. It has gained notoriety for allegedly being the site of numerous unexplained disappearances of ships and aircraft over the years, fueling speculation and many conspiracy theories about paranormal or supernatural things. The origins of the Bermuda Triangle legend can be traced back to the mid-20th century, when a series of high-profile incidents involving the disappearance of ships and planes captured public attention. These incidents, combined with sensationalized media coverage in popular books like The Bermuda Triangle by Charles Berlitz, helped to cement the Bermuda Triangle's reputation as a mysterious and dangerous area. However, many of the purported mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle have been debunked pretty easily or explained by just natural causes. For example, some disappearances can just be shown by adverse weather conditions, navigational errors, mechanical failures, or just plain human error. In some cases, wreckage from missing vessels has been discovered, providing evidence of more mundane explanations for their disappearances. Despite the debunking of many Bermuda Triangle myths, the legend continues to persist in popular culture and the public. Green Flash. The green flash is a crazy thing, which I've actually seen in real life. It's such a weird thing that naturally happens. But the green flash is a rare optical phenomenon that occurs at sunrise or sunset when conditions are just perfect. It is shown as a brief, brilliant flash of green light that appears to hover above the horizon for a few seconds before disappearing. While the green flash can occur over any horizon, it is often associated with the ocean because it's just unobstructed view of the horizon and it's just easier to see. The green flash phenomenon is caused by the refraction of sunlight as it passes through the Earth's atmosphere. When the sun is close to the horizon, its light must travel through a thicker layer of the atmosphere, which bends or reflects the light. This refraction separates the sunlight into its component colors, with shorter wavelengths such as blue and green being bent more than longer wavelengths such as red and orange. And under the perfect atmospheric conditions, the shorter wavelengths of light are scattered or absorbed by particles in the atmosphere, leaving only the longer wavelengths to be visible. This can create the illusion of a green flash just as the sun disappears below the horizon. The green flash is a really just weird thing that happens in nature, but really cool to see in real life. Atlantis. The legend of Atlantis has captivated the human mind forever. I mean, it's since beginning of time, basically, inspiring countless works of literature, art, and overall speculation. Described by the ancient Greek philosopher Plato in his dialogues Timaeus and Critias, Atlantis is said to have been an advanced civilization that existed around 9,000 years before Plato's time, so a really long time for us now. According to Plato's account, Atlantis was a preposterous and technologically advanced island nation located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, believed to be around the Strait of Gibraltar. The Atlanteans were said to have built magnificent cities, engineered impressive feats of architecture and engineering, and possessed advanced knowledge of science and philosophy. However, according to Plato, the Atlantean civilization ultimately met a tragic fate. In his dialogues, Plato describes how Atlantis became morally corrupt and dissident, leaving the gods to punish the island with a cataclysmic event. In a single day and night, Atlantis is said to have been swallowed by the sea, disappearing beneath the waves and leaving behind only myths and legends. And despite extensive speculation and numerous theories about Atlantis, the true origins of the city legend remains shrouded in mystery. Some scholars believe that Plato's account was purely fictional, intended as a philosophical allegory or moral lesson, although others suggest that the story of Atlantis may have been inspired by real events or cultures, such as the ancient Minoan civilization of Crete or the volcanic eruption that destroyed the island of Thera around 1600 BCE. Over the centuries, countless explorers, archaeologists, and treasure hunters have all searched for evidence of Atlantis, scouring the oceans, mapping remote islands, and excavating ancient ruins in hopes of uncovering the lost civilization. Sea Monster of Datus. The Sea Monster of Datus, also known as the Daedalus Sea Serpent, is a legendary creature said to inhabit the waters off the coast of the island of Crete in Greek mythology. The story of the Sea Monster of Daedalus is intertwined with the myth of the famous inventor and craftsman Daedalus, who is best known for building the labyrinth of King Minos of Crete and creating wings for himself and his son Icarus to escape from imprisonment, but that's a whole nother story. According to ancient Greek texts, Daedalus was reputed to have built a magnificent palace for King Minos, located on the island of Crete. However, in some versions of the myth, Daedalus incurred the wrath of the gods or King Minos himself, leading to his exile from Crete. As he fled from the island, Daedalus is said to have encountered the Sea Monster of Daedalus, a fearsome serpent-like creature that terrorized sailors and threatened ships navigating the waters around Crete. Descriptions of the Sea Monster of Daedalus vary, but it is typically depicted as a massive sea serpent with multiple heads, sharp teeth, and the ability to capsize ships with its powerful coils. Some versions of the myth describe the monster as the offspring of the ancient sea god Poseidon, while others attribute its creation to the vengeful sorcery of King Minos or the wrath of the gods. Blue Whale Mating Ritual. The mating ritual of blue whales, the largest animals on Earth, is a fascinating sort of thing that happens, to say the least. While much of the blue whale's mating behavior actually remains a mystery due to the challenges of studying these elusive creatures in their natural habitat, scientists have gleaned insights into their courtship rituals through observation and research and a little bit of speculation. Blue whales are known to engage in complex mating behaviors, which typically occur during the breeding season in warmer waters. Mating rituals often involve vocalizations, physical displays, and pursuit behaviors as males compete for the attention of females. One of the most striking aspects of blue whale mating behaviors is their use of vocalizations, which can travel for long distances underwater. Male blue whales produce low-frequency songs that are thought to serve as a means of communication and attraction during the mating season. These songs may consist of repeated patterns of moans, pulses, and whistles that can be heard by potential mates over vast distances. Male blue whales also engage in physical displays to attract females and establish dominance over rivals. This may include behavior such as breaching, where the whale leaps out of the water and crashes back down, creating a spectacular splash and just something, cool to look at, I guess, for whales. Breaching may serve as a visual and auditory signal of strength and vitality, demonstrating the male's fitness as a potential mate. During the mating season, male blue whales may also engage in pursuit behaviors, following and swimming alongside females in some sort of display. This allows males to assess the reproductive readiness of males and compete for their attraction. Once a female has chosen a mate, mating itself is thought to occur underwater, typically in deep oceanic waters away from the prying eyes of observers. The exact mechanics of blue whale mating remain largely unknown, as mating events are rarely observed directly. Although, after mating, female blue whales undergo a gestation period of approximately 10 to 12 months before giving birth to a single calf. The birth of a calf typically occurs in warmer, shallow waters, where the newborn whale can nurse and grow in relative safety. Despite our limited understanding of the blue male mating rituals, it's kind of interesting to say the least. Lochness Monster. The Lochness Monster, often affectionately referred to as just Nessie, is one of the most famous cryptids in the world, captivating the imaginations of people for generations. The legend of the Loch Ness Monster centers around Loch Ness, a deep, freshwater lake located in the Scottish Highlands. Described as a large, long-necked creature with humps protruding from the water, Nessie is said to inhabit the murky depths of Loch Ness. Sightings of the creature date back centuries, with reports of encounters with the mysterious aquatic beast recorded as early as the 6th century. The modern legend of the Loch Ness Monster gained widespread attention in the 20th century, following a series of highly publicized sightings and photographs. In 1933, a photograph known as the surgeon's photograph purportedly showed the head and neck of a creature emerging from the waters of Loch Ness. While the surgeon's photograph remains one of the most iconic images associated with Nessie, it has since been revealed as a hoax, with the creature in the photograph being a toy submarine with a crafted model head attached. Despite the lack of any sort of other conclusive evidence, the legend of the Loch Ness Monster still persists, fueled by sporadic sightings, eyewitness accounts, and ongoing speculation. Kaz 2. The Kaz 2, also known as the Ghost Yacht, was a catamaran sailboat that gained international attention in 2007 after being discovered adrift off the coast of northern Australia. The yacht was found with its sails up, engine running, and belongings including food and personal items still on board, but with no sign of its 3-man crew. The mysterious circumstances surrounding the Kaz 2 led to speculation and media coverage, with theories ranging from foul play to paranormal activity. However, subsequent investigations by Australian authorities concluded that the crew had likely encountered trouble while sailing and had fallen overboard, either due to a sudden squall or misshape while reefing the sails. The Kaz 2 incident highlights the dangers of sailing in remote and treacherous waters and how easily some sort of weird urban legends can kind of persist and come up if something bad just happens, even though most likely it's just a freak accident. People think it's something more dark and cryptid, but it's probably not the case. Tier 3. Immortal Jellyfish. The immortal jellyfish, scientifically known as the Turritopsis dorini, is a remarkable species of jellyfish that has gained attention for its unique ability to potentially achieve biological immortality, which is insane. Found in oceans around the world, including in warmer coastal waters, the immortal jellyfish has a life cycle that defies conventional notions of aging and mortality. What sets the immortal jellyfish apart from other jellyfish species is its extraordinary process of transdifferentiation. When faced with adverse conditions such as starvation, physical damage, or old age, the immortal jellyfish has the ability to revert its cells to an earlier stage of development, essentially reversing the aging process and allowing it to start its life cycle anew, which is just insane. During transdifferentiation, the immortal jellyfish transforms its mature cells back into immature ones called stem cells, which can then develop into different types of cells needed by the jellyfish. This process enables the immortal jellyfish to regenerate damaged tissues and organs, effectively rejuvenating itself and potentially expanding its lifespan indefinitely. While the concept of biological immortality in the immortal jellyfish is very intriguing, it's not really able to live forever. Like all living organisms, the immortal jellyfish is still susceptible to predation, disease, and environmental factors that can impact its survival. So most likely something will happen in a limited amount of time and it'll die, and it would need perfect conditions to be able to live forever, but it technically could. Devil's Sea. The Devil's Sea, also known as the Dragon's Triangle, is a region of the Pacific Ocean that has become infamous for its purported association with mysterious disappearances, shipwrecks, and paranormal phenomena. Located off the coast of Japan, the Devil's Sea is often compared to the Bermuda Triangle in the Atlantic Ocean due to its reputation as a site of unexplained maritime incidents. The legend of the Devil's Sea dates back centuries and is fueled by reports of ships and aircraft vanishing without a trace in the region. According to popular belief, vessels that enter the Devil's Sea are said to encounter strange magnetic anomalies, unpredictable weather patterns, and inexplicable phenomena that defy rational explanation. While the exact causes of the alleged phenomena in the Devil's Sea remains a subject of debate and overall speculation because no one really knows, and scientific explanations have been proposed for some of the reported incidents, but none of them are conclusively proven. These include the presence of underwater volcanic activity, strong ocean currents, and seismic disturbances caused by tectonic activity in the region that can all kind of maybe give an explanation of why these things happen. Also, in addition to natural explanations, some researchers have suggested that psychological factors such as navigational errors, human error, and confirmation bias may contribute to the perception of the Devil's Sea as a mysterious and dangerous place. And despite the skepticism of scientists and skeptics, the legend of the Devil's Sea is still a pretty big thing, along with the Bermuda Triangle. Rogue waves, and definitely one of the scariest things on this list in my opinion, because they're just waves that come out of nowhere and are huge and will capsize any boat. But anyways, rogue waves, also known as freak waves or monster waves, are exceptionally large and unexplained ocean waves that occur with little warning in open waters. These waves are characterized by their immense height, often reaching heights of 20 meters or 60 feet or more, and their steep, towering walls of water. Rogue waves are a rare but potentially deadly phenomenon that poses a significant risk to ships, offshore structures, and overall anything in the ocean. Unlike normal ocean waves, which result from the cumulative effect of wind and ocean currents, rogue waves appear suddenly and unpredictably, seemingly out of nowhere. The exact mechanisms of the rise of rogue waves are not fully understood, so no one really knows why they happen, which makes them even scarier. These include constructive interference between smaller waves, nonlinear wave dynamics, and the convergence of different wave systems, so they kind of think like a bunch of waves come together to make these, but still no one knows. Rogue waves can also be amplified by oceanographic features such as strong currents, underwater topography, and atmospheric conditions. The destructive power of rogue waves have been pretty well documented through historical accounts, eyewitness reports, and scientific studies. Ships of all sizes have been struck by rogue waves, with devastating consequences ranging from structural damage and cargo loss to just overall capsizing and sinking and losing everyone on board. In some cases, entire vessels have been lost at sea with zero trace, leaving behind only speculation. Advancements in oceanography, meteorology, and satellite technology have been able to enable scientists to better understanding rogue waves and predict their occurrence. However, forecasting rogue waves remains a formidable challenge due to their unpredictable nature. Big Fin Squid. The big fin squid, also known by its scientific name Magnapinna, is a deep-sea cephalopod characterized by its distinctive elongated arms and large fin-like structures. These weird and remarkable creatures inhabit the dark depths of the ocean, typically at depths ranging from 1,000 to 4,000 meters, which is 3,300 feet to 13,000 feet, making them rarely encountered by humans. Big fin squids are named for their disproportionately long and slender arms, and I mean, look at them on screen, these things are terrifying looking, which can extend to length several times their body size. These arms are equipped with rows of small suckers and fin-like structures along their length, giving the squid its distinctive appearance. The exact function of these long arms is not known, but they are thought to play a role in capturing prey, some sort of navigation, and mating, maybe, but no one knows because these things are just so not studied. One of the most striking features of the big fin squid is its large umbrella-like fins, which extend horizontally from the base of its mantle. These fins can span several meters in width and are thought to help the squid maintain stability and maneuverability in the deep sea environment. The translucent nature of the fins may also serve as some sort of camouflage, allowing the squid to blend in with its surroundings and avoid detection by predators. And despite their unusual appearance, relatively little is known about their biological and behavior of big fin squids due to the challenges of studying them and just finding them because they're almost impossible to find because, I mean, the ocean's huge. Most of what is known about these creatures comes from specimens that have been captured in deep sea trawls or observed by remotely operated vehicles during deep sea exploration missions. Big fin squids are believed to be primarily solitary and elusive creatures. Although they may congregate in certain areas of the ocean in search of food or mates, their diet likely consists of small fish, crustaceans, and other deep sea organisms, but that's still all speculation. As our understanding of the deep sea ecosystem continues to grow, big fin squids are just one of the things that kind of give you nightmares about the ocean. Point Nemo. Point Nemo, also known as the Oceanic Pole of Inaccessibility, is a remote location in the southern Pacific Ocean that holds the distinction of being the farthest point from any landmass on Earth. Located approximately 2,688 kilometers or 1,670 miles from the nearest land, Point Nemo is situated in a region known as the Oceanic Desert, where the nearest human inhabitants are often astronauts aboard the International Space Station. Like, that's insane how this island is so remote, the closest people to you are people in space. The name Nemo is derived from the Latin word for no one, reflecting the isolated and uninhabited nature of this remote location. Point Nemo is surrounded by thousands of kilometers of open ocean in all directions, making it one of the most inaccessible places on the planet. The remote location of Point Nemo has led to its use as a spacecraft graveyard, where defunct satellites, space stations, and other space debris are unintentionally deorbited and allowed to re-enter the Earth's atmosphere, burning up upon re-entry. This minimizes the risk of collisions with active satellites and reduces the amount of space debris in Earth's orbit, so it's kind of a useful island in some sort of sense. Despite its isolation, Point Nemo actually plays an important role in scientific research and environmental conservation. Its pristine waters are home to a diverse array of marine life, including whales, dolphins, and deep-sea fish, making it a pretty valuable area for studying marine ecosystems and biodiversity. Mary Celeste. The Mary Celeste is one of the most famous mysteries in the history regarding the ocean, I guess. This American merchant brigantine was discovered adrift and deserted in the Atlantic Ocean in December 1872. The ship was found in seaworthy condition with its cargo and personnel belongings intact, but there was no sign of the crew or passengers anywhere on board. The circumstances surrounding the abandonment of the Mary Celeste remains a subject of speculation and debate to this day on what happened to the entire crew. When the ship was discovered by the crew of the British brigantine De Grata, it was found to be sailing erratically, with its sails set haphazardly and its lifeboat missing. The ship's log and navigational instruments were also missing, along with personal belongings and valuables belonging to the crew and passengers. Several theories have been proposed to explain the mystery of the Mary Celeste, ranging from piracy and mutiny to natural disasters and paranormal phenomena. Some have speculated that the crew may have abandoned ship in panic due to a sudden storm, a leak, or the presence of sea monsters or other supernatural forces. However, none of these theories fully account for all the evidence surrounding the Mary Celeste mystery. The absence of any sort of distress signals, signs of struggle, or damage to the ship has led many to believe that foul play or human error may have been involved. Some have suggested that the crew may have staged their own disappearances as part of an insurance fraud scheme or to escape debts or legal troubles. Despite extensive investigations and inquiries conducted by maritime authorities and historians over the years, the true fate of the crew and passengers of the Mary Celeste remains unknown. The world's oldest mammal. The world's oldest living mammal known to inhabit the ocean is the bowhead whale. These remarkable marine mammals are native to the Arctic and subarctic regions, where they are known for their immense size, thick blubber layer, and iconic bow-shaped skull. Bowhead whales are among the longest-lived animals on Earth, with some individuals estimated to live for over 200 years. This extraordinary longevity is attributed to several different factors, including their large body size, slow metabolism, and adaptations to the cold Arctic environment. One key factor contributing to the bowhead whale's longevity is its remarkable ability to withstand the harsh conditions of the Arctic Ocean. These whales possess a thick layer of blubber that insulates them from the cold and provides energy reserves during periods of fasting. Additionally, their uniquely shaped skulls are adapted for breaking through sea ice, which is a really cool evolution trait, allowing them to navigate through frozen waters in search of food. Bowhead whales are also known for their low metabolitic rates, which may contribute to their longevity because they don't need to eat as often. Unlike other large mammals such as elephants or humans, bowhead whales have relatively slow growth rates and reproduce at a late age, which may help them conserve energy and resources over their long lifespans. Studies of bowhead whale populations have revealed individuals with harpoons and other artifacts embedded in their blubber, providing evidence of their incredible longevity because people haven't used harpoons or other artifacts for a long time, so these are really old whales. By analyzing the chemical composition of their baleen plates and eye lenses, scientists have been able to estimate the ages of bowhead whales and gain insights into their life history and behavior. The longevity of bowhead whales has fascinated scientists and conservationists alike, highlighting the importance of protecting the iconic marine mammals and their Arctic habitats. Tier 4. Yonaguni Monument. The Yonaguni Monument is a weird and fascinating underwater structure located off the coast of Yonaguni Island in Japan. Discovered in the 80s by local divers, the monument consists of a series of massive stone formations that resemble terraces, steps, and columns, kind of like an ancient civilization or city underwater. Some of these structures rise as high as 25 meters or 82 feet from the ocean floor, leading to speculation about their origins and purpose. The Yonaguni Monument has sparked intense debate among scientists, archaeologists, and geologists since its discovery. Some researchers argue that the formations are entirely natural and were created by geological processes such as erosion, faulting, and just tectonic activity. According to this theory, the Yonaguni Monument is a natural rock formation that is shaped over thousands of years by the forces of wind, water, and seismic activity. However, others contend differently, and they say that the structures bear evidence of human construction and may represent the remnants of an ancient civilization that has gone unknown. Proponents of this theory point to features such as right-angled corners, straight edges, and parallel lines that appear to be man-made rather than natural in origin. They suggest that the Yonaguni Monument may have been built by a prehistoric culture that inhabited the region thousands of years ago, possibly during the last ice age when sea levels were lower and the area was above water. Despite decades of research and exploration, the true origins of the Yonaguni Monument remain a subject of speculation, with no one really knowing whether it's a man-made structure or just some sort of natural structure. While some scientists remain skeptical of the idea that the structures are man-made, others continue to investigate the site in search of evidence to support this hypothesis. In addition to its archaeological significance, the Yonaguni Monument has become a popular diving destination and tourist attraction, drawing visitors from around the world who are eager to explore this weird formation and uncover the secrets of its ancient past. Whether it's natural or man-made, the Yonaguni Monument is pretty cool and interesting to debate about. 2003 Great White Incident. The 2003 Great White Incident refers to a tragic event that occurred on April 25, 2003, off the coast of South Australia. During a routine diving expedition in the waters, a group of experienced divers encountered a large great white shark, and tragically, during the encounter, one of the divers, Rodney Fox, was attacked by the shark. The shark inflicted severe injuries on Fox, including multiple puncture wounds and lacerations, particular to his chest, abdomen, and arm. Despite the severity of his injuries, Rodney Fox managed to fight off the shark and, with the help of fellow divers, was quickly brought back to surface and evacuated for emergency medical treatment. He underwent multiple surgeries to repair the damage caused by the shark attack and eventually made a remarkable recovery. The incident sparked widespread media attention and renewed debate about shark behavior and human encounters with these apex predators. Rodney Fox's survival and subsequent advocacy for shark conservation and research made him a pretty prominent figure in the field of marine biology and shark education. Biblical Leviathan. We talked about the Leviathan earlier, but this one will go just deeper into the biblical Leviathan. In biblical mythology, the Leviathan is a mythical sea monster or giant sea serpent mentioned in various ancient texts, including the Hebrew Bible, Old Testament, and Talmud, and other Jewish writings. The Leviathan is described as a massive and fearsome creature of the deep, possessing great strength and great power. The exact nature and characteristics of the Leviathan vary depending on the source and interpretation of the Bible. In some texts, the Leviathan is depicted as a literal sea creature, often associated with chaos and destruction, while in other interpretations, it is interpreted as a metaphorical representation of cosmic forces or primordial chaos. In the Hebrew Bible, the Leviathan is mentioned in several passages, including the Book of Job and the Book of Psalms. In these texts, the Leviathan is described as a monstrous sea creature that cannot be tamed or defeated by humans. It is portrayed as a symbol of God's power and sovereignty over the natural world, representing the forces of chaos and disorder that God has the power to control the world. The Leviathan is also mentioned in Jewish folklore and mysticism. While it is sometimes depicted as a primordial creature that will be slain by the Messiah at the end of the days, ushering in a new era of peace and harmony, and in Christian tradition, the Leviathan is sometimes interpreted as a symbol of evil or the devil, representing the forces of darkness and temptation that seek to oppose God's will. Overall, though, the Leviathan is just a very powerful and pretty enigmatic figure in biblical mythology, symbolizing the mysteries of the deep and the eternal struggle between order and chaos and light and darkness. Its legendary status has inspired countless works of art, literature, and religious interpretations throughout history. Kraken is real. The Kraken is a legendary sea monster often depicted as a giant octopus or a squid-like creature in folklore and mythology. While the Kraken has captured the imaginations of people for centuries, there is no evidence to support the existence of such a creature as described in myth and legend. However, it is worth noting that giant squids, such as the Argentines species do exist in the ocean, and they can grow to impressive sizes, with some specimens reaching lengths of over 40 feet or 12 meters in length. These elusive creatures inhabit the deep ocean and are rarely encountered by humans, contributing to their mysterious reputation because they're not usually seen, so they'll go for long times without being seen. So maybe that's where Krakens came from, because they're so rarely seen and they're just so big. Who knows? Or they're just made up by old pirates. Historically, exaggerated tales of encounters with giant squids may have contributed to the creation of the Kraken legend. Sailors and seafarers encountering these massive and often intimidating creatures may have embellished their stories over time, leading to the development of myths and legends about these fearsome sea monsters. While the Kraken may be a creature of legend, the existence of giant squids might be just the Kraken. Globster. The globsters are mysterious, unidentifiable organic masses that occasionally wash ashore on beaches around the world, sparking curiosity and kind of weird speculation, because what are these things? These bizarre and often grotesque-looking creatures are typically pretty big and large, amorphous masses of flesh and tissue, lacking clear features or recognizable anatomy. So these things are just gross because they're just masses of flesh and tissue. That's disgusting. Globsters can vary widely in appearance, texture, and size, with some specimens resembling decaying carcasses of marine animals such as a whale, shark, or giant squids, while others defy easy classification due to their strange and otherworldly appearance. The term globster was coined in the mid-20th century by Ivan T. Sanderson, a cryptozoologist and marine biologist, to describe these weird creatures and entities. While some globsters may have mundane explanations such as decomposing remains of known marine animals, other explanations defy identification and remain shrouded in mystery. Over the years, globsters have fueled speculation and debate among scientists and cryptozoologists and just the general public, with various theories proposed to explain their origins. Some researchers suggest that globsters may be the remains of undiscovered or extinct species of marine animals, while others attribute their formation to natural processes such as decomposition, tidal currents, and oceanic currents. In some cases, globsters have been subjected to scientific analysis, including DNA testing and some sort of examinations, in an attempt to determine their origins. However, conclusive identification is often challenging due to their advanced state of decomposition and lack of clear anatomical features. Despite the lack of definitive answers, globsters are weird and intrigue people all around the world, and who knows, maybe we'll figure out what these big masses of flesh are someday in the near future. Bloop. The bloop is one of the most famous and intriguing underwater sounds ever recorded, initially detected by hydrophones in the Pacific Ocean in 1997. This low-frequency, ultra-powerful sound was picked up by underwater listening devices designed to monitor underwater nuclear testing, leading to widespread speculation and debate about its origin and cause. The bloop sound is characterized by its distinctive bloopy or boop sound profile, which lasts for several minutes and spans a frequency range that is lower than the sounds produced by known marine animals. The source of the bloop was initially a mystery, leading to various theories ranging from plausible to the fantastical. One of the most widely accepted explanations for the bloop is that it was produced by the fracturing and movement of icebergs or large ice sheets in the Antarctic, a process known as ice quakes. This theory is supported by seismic data and oceanographic research, which suggests that the bloop's frequency and waveform match those produced by underwater ice movements. However, the bloop's mysterious nature and lack of definitive evidence has led to other, more speculative theories and imaginative theories about its origin. Some have suggested that it could have been the vocalization of an unknown or undiscovered marine animal, such as a massive deep-sea creature or a species of giant squid, and despite decades of research and investigation, the true cause of the bloop remains uncertain. While the iceberg theory is widely accepted by scientists, the possibility of other explanations, including unknown biological sources, continues to capture the imagination of the public, and inspire speculation about the mysteries of the deep ocean. And why don't we just play the bloop sound right now and you can make up your mind yourself. But me personally, I think it sounds like just an iceberg or something falling, or I don't know. It doesn't sound like an animal to me, but you make up your mind. I'll play the clip right now. German U-boat 60-foot crocodile. The story of the German U-boat encountering a 60-foot crocodile is a famous legend that has circulated for decades. According to the tale, during World War II, a German U-boat patrolling in the Atlantic Ocean encountered a massive crocodile estimated to be around 60 feet in length. The crew of the U-boat allegedly observed the gigantic reptile swimming alongside their submarine before it disappeared into the depths. Despite its popularity, there is really no evidence to support a 60-foot crocodile, but the story is often regarded as a work of fiction or embellishment, originating from sailors' folklore or imaginative storytelling. It's important to note that crocodiles are primarily freshwater creatures and not typically found in the open ocean. That's why another reason why it probably didn't happen. While there are large species of crocodiles, such as the saltwater crocodile, they generally inhabit coastal waters, rivers, and mangrove swamps rather than deep seas where submarines operate. But who knows, maybe it was like some sort of, dinosaur somewhere down there, but, probably not. Tier 5. Sargasso Sea's carnivorous seaweed. The lore surrounding the Sargasso Sea and its alleged carnivorous seaweed is intriguing and has fueled speculation and myth for centuries. Stories of ships disappearing without a trace and sailors vanishing into the depths have contributed to the mystique surrounding this unique body of water. While there is no credible evidence to support the existence of such a carnivorous seaweed in the Sargasso Sea, the dense mats of Sargassum seaweed that accumulate there are present navigational challenges for ships, especially in the days of sailing vessels. It's possible that these ships became ensnared in thick patches of seaweed and could contribute to their disappearance or abandonment, so they're kind of like carnivorous, I guess, because ships would get stuck in them. Additionally, the calm, warm waters of the Sargasso Sea, combined with its swirling currents and lack of prevailing winds, can create a sense of eerie stillness and an isolation that may have added to the atmosphere of mystery and danger associated with the area. The nearby Bermuda Triangle, with its reputation for unexplained disappearances and strange phenomena, has also been invoked to explain the mysterious happenings in the Sargasso Sea. While the Bermuda Triangle's influence on the Sargasso Sea remains speculative, the combination of unpredictable weather, treacherous currents, and navigational hazards, and the very thick seaweed probably could all contribute to the accidents and mishaps that happen around the area. Ultimately, the legends and lore surrounding the Sargasso Sea is just kind of an old, wise tale, and probably there's no such thing as a carnivorous seaweed, but who knows. Vertical migration. Vertical migration is a fascinating phenomenon observed in various marine organisms, particularly planktonic species, where individuals move vertically through the water column on a daily or seasonal basis. This migration behavior is driven by a variety of factors, including predator avoidance, feeding opportunities, reproductive strategies, and responses to environmental cues such as light and temperature. One of the most well-known examples of vertical migration is seen in zooplankton, small animals that drift with ocean currents. Many zooplankton species exhibit diel vertical migration, where they move upward towards the surface of the ocean at dusk and downward towards deeper waters at dawn. This behavior allows them to avoid visual predators and hunt near the surface during the day, and to feed on phytoplankton, microscopic algae that undergo photosynthesis and accumulate near the surface where sunlight is abundant. In addition to diel vertical migration, some marine organisms, including certain fish species and cephalopods, exhibit seasonal vertical migration patterns in response to changes in temperature, nutrient availability, and some environmental factors. For example, some fish species may move to deeper waters during the winter months to escape colder surface temperatures, While others may migrate vertically to spawn or to access food sources that become more abundant at different depths throughout the year, vertical migration plays a pretty crucial role in marine ecosystems, influencing the distribution and abundance of organisms throughout the water column and facilitating energy transfer and nutrient cycling. By moving between different depth layers, organisms contribute to the mixing of nutrients and planktonic biomass, which can have cascading effects on food webs and ecosystem dynamics. Understanding the drivers and patterns of vertical migration is important for studying marine biodiversity, ecosystem functioning, and the responses of organisms to environmental change. Mariana Trench. The Mariana Trench is the deepest oceanic trench on Earth, located in the western Pacific Ocean near the Mariana Islands. It reaches a maximum known depth of about 11,000 meters or 36,000 feet deep at the Challenger Deep, which is the deepest point in the trench and the deepest known point in the Earth's seabed. The Mariana Trench is a subduction zone where the Pacific Plate is being forced beneath the smaller Mariana Plate, resulting in the formation of the trench going down and down and down. This geological process has created a vast chasm in the ocean floor, with steep, rocky slopes leading down to the Challenger Deep. Despite its extreme depth, the Mariana Trench is home to a variety of fascinating and weird and unique marine life, adapted to the extreme pressures and conditions found at such great depths. Deep-sea organisms such as amphipods, snailfish, and giant isopods have been discovered in the trench, along with a diverse array of microbes and bacteria. The exploration of the Mariana Trench has captured the imaginations of scientists, explorers, and adventurers for centuries. In 1960, the first and only manned expedition to the Challenger Deep was conducted by the Swiss oceanographer Jacques Piccard and U.S. Navy Lieutenant Don Walsh aboard the bathyscaphe Trieste. Since then, several unmanned submersibles and remotely operated vehicles have been deployed to explore the trench and its unique ecosystems. Studying the Mariana Trench provides valuable insights into the geological processes that shape the Earth's crust, as well as the adaptations and survival strategies of deep-sea organisms. The extreme depths and pressures of the trench present significant challenges for exploration, but advances in technology and scientific understanding contribute to push the boundaries of our known knowledge of this enigmatic and mysterious underwater realm. Underground ocean. The concept of an underground ocean refers to the vast reservoirs of water located deep beneath the Earth's surface, often within the planet's mantle or deep within the Earth's crust. While these underground oceans are not like the familiar bodies of water found on the surface, they are kind of significant stores of water that play a role in Earth's geological processes and may have important implications for our understanding of the planet's interior and potential for supporting life. One of the most well-known examples of an underground ocean is believed to exist within the mantle. Located hundreds of kilometers below the Earth's surface, this reservoir, known as the transition zone, is thought to contain water trapped within mineral structures such as ringwoodite and wadestite. Studies of seismic waves and mineral physics have proved evidence for the presence of significant amounts of water within the Earth's mantle, suggesting that these underground oceans may contain many times the volume of water than found in the Earth's ocean, which is insane how there's that much water kind of lost within the Earth. Like, imagine if there's unknown species of animals that live all the way down there. These underground reservoirs of water play a crucial role in sustaining terrestrial ecosystems in human populations, serving as a vital source of drinking water, irrigation, and industrial use. The discovery and study of our understanding of Earth's water cycle, geological processes, and potential habitability of other planets and moons. In recent years, scientists have also speculated about the possibility of subsurface oceans on other celestial bodies, such as Mars, Europa, which is a moon of Jupiter, and Enceladus, another moon of Saturn, where liquid water may exist beneath icy crusts and provide environments conducive to life. Like, imagine how crazy that would be if we figured out there's oceans underground on Mars and Saturn and Jupiter. That would just be crazy. Heraklion, or underwater Egypt. Heraklion, also known as Thonis Heraklion, is a legendary ancient Egyptian city that was thought to be a myth until its rediscovery underwater off the coast of Egypt. Located near the mouth of the Nile River in the Mediterranean Sea, Heraklion was a rich port city that flourished during the late Pharaonic period and into the Hellenistic era. The city was a bustling hub of trade and commerce, serving as a gateway between Egypt and the Mediterranean world. It was named after the Greek hero Hercules and was known to be the ancient Egyptians as Thonis. Heraklion was renowned for its grand temples, palaces, and harbors, as well as vibrant markets and cultural exchanges within foreign merchants and travelers. Despite its historical significance, Heraklion was gradually submerged beneath the waters of the Mediterranean due to a combination of natural factors such as rising sea levels, soil subsidence, and seismic activity, and over time the city was forgotten and became the stuff of legend. Mentioned in ancient texts but believed by many to be nothing more than a myth, and in the early 21st century, however, Heraklion was rediscovered by underwater archaeologists using advanced sonar technology in diving expeditions. Excavations revealed remarkably well-preserved ruins of temples, statues, artifacts, and buildings, all submerged in the shallow waters of Aboukir Bay, providing a weird glimpse and fascinating glimpse into the lost world of ancient Egypt. The discovery of Heraklion was offered valuable insights into the maritime history, culture, and trade networks of ancient Egypt and the Mediterranean region. And what if this is the exact same scenario with Atlantis? What if Atlantis is somewhere down there we just haven't found yet? Who knows? Interesting though. Tier 6. And this one is kind of an interesting entry. Mermaid documentary. And the only thing I could find about mermaid documentaries that are kind of prevalent is the documentary titled Mermaids, The Body Found, which was just kind of a documentary-esque sort of thing that presented speculative scenarios and pseudoscientific claims that kind of suggested that mermaids could be real creatures. And the show and documentary combined elements of documentary filmmaking with fictional storytelling. So I'm not really sure what this topic or entry is referring to, but yeah, that's all I have. Sinking of the Titanic. The sinking of the Titanic is one of the most infamous maritime disasters in history. On April 14th through the 15th, 1912, the RMS Titanic, a British luxury passenger liner on its maiden voyage from Southampton to New York City, struck an iceberg in the North Atlantic Ocean and sank, resulting in the loss of over 1,500 lives. The Titanic, touted as the largest and most luxurious ship of its time, was equipped with advanced safety features and considered to be unsinkable by its designers and builders. However, the collision with the iceberg caused extensive damage to the ship's hull, leading to a rapid flooding of its compartments and ultimately its sinking. The tragedy of the Titanic's sinking was compounded by a combination of different factors, including the inadequate number of lifeboats on board, the lack of effective communication and coordination in response to the emergency, and the overconfidence of the ship's crew and passengers in the vessel's safety. The sinking of the Titanic shocked the world and prompted widespread changes in ship safety regulations and practices. In the aftermath of the disaster, new measures were implemented to improve the design and construction of ships, enhance safety equipment and procedures, and strengthen emergency response protocols. The sinking of the Titanic has since become the subject of numerous books, films, documentaries, and overall cultural references, capturing the public imagination and inspiring ongoing fascination with the story of the ill-fated ship and its passengers. Montauk Monster. The Montauk Monster is a mysterious creature that washed ashore on a beach near Montauk, New York in July 2008, sparking widespread controversy and speculation. The creature, which appeared to be a bloated and partially decomposed carcass, had an overall strange appearance that defied easy identification. Photographs of the Montauk Monster quickly circulated online and in the media, leading to intense speculation about its origins and identity. Some suggest that it might be a previously unknown species of animal, while others speculated that it could just be a mutated or genetically engineered creature escaped from a nearby research facility. Numerous theories were proposed to explain the creature's appearance, ranging from the plausible to the outlandish. Some suggested that it might be a raccoon or a dog or other familiar animals that had undergone extensive decomposition and distortion due to the exposure of the elements and just the ocean. Others speculated that it could have been a hoax or a marketing stunt orchestrated by local residents or pranksters. Despite extensive media coverage, public interest, and the true identity of the Montauk Monster still remains a mystery. The carcass was reportedly taken away for further examination, but no definitive conclusions were ever announced regarding its origin or its species. So what do you think? Was it some sort of really decomposed raccoon or dog, or was it maybe an alien or something? Aquatic ape hypothesis. The aquatic ape hypothesis, or AAH, is a controversial theory proposing that certain human characteristics and behaviors can be explained by an aquatic phase in our evolutionary history. This hypothesis suggests that at some point in our evolutionary past, ancestral hominins lived in a semi-aquatic or aquatic environment and underwent adaptations that were influenced by this aquatic lifestyle. Proponents of the aquatic ape hypothesis argued that several features of modern humans, such as bipedalism, subcutaneous fat distribution, lack of fur, and certain psychological traits such as the diving reflex can be best explained by aquatic or semi-aquatic past. They suggest that living in a watery environment would have favored traits such as efficient swimming, wading, diving, and foraging for aquatic foods like shellfish. However, the aquatic ape hypothesis is highly controversial and lacks substantial evidence from fossil records or comparative anatomy to support its claims. Critics of this theory argue that the theory relies heavily on speculative scenarios and does not adequately account for alternative explanations for the observed traits and behaviors in humans. Most mainstream scientists reject the aquatic ape hypothesis in favor of more widely accepted theories of human evolution, such as the savanna hypothesis, which proposes that early hominins evolved in terrestrial environments, adapting to life on the African savannas. While the aquatic ape hypothesis remains a topic of debate and speculation, and just kind of an interesting thing to think about, it is the minority of researchers and enthusiasts that kind of support it, but definitely an interesting hypothesis to say the least. St. Augustine Monster. The St. Augustine Monster is an intriguing and mysterious creature that washed ashore on the beach near St. Augustine, Florida in November 1896. The massive carcass, estimated to be around 21 feet or 6.4 meters in length and weighing several tons, attracted widespread attention and speculation at the time. The creature's appearance was described as resembling a massive octopus or squid with long tentacles and a gelatinous body, so it was most likely just a big squid. But its unusual features and size led to intense speculation about its origin, with various theories proposed to explain its presence on the beach. Some suggested that the St. Augustine Monster might be a previously unknown species of giant octopus or squid, while others speculated that it could have been a sea monster or mythical creature. The discovery of the carcass sparked public interest, with newspapers reporting on the mysterious find and scientists and experts offering their own theories and explanations. Despite extensive study and examination and theorizing, the true identity of the St. Augustine Monster remains uncertain. While some researchers believe that it may have been a decomposing carcass of a known species of marine animal, others argue that it could have been a hoax or a misidentification of a natural phenomenon such as a big squid. The St. Augustine Monster remains one of the most famous mysteries of the sea, capturing the imagination of people around the world, especially since it was so early in 1896. This was kind of like the first physical myth. Tier 7. Phantom Island, Bermuda. The Phantom Island of Bermuda is a mysterious and elusive landmass that was believed to exist off the coast of the Yucatan Peninsula in the Gulf of Mexico. Bermuda was first depicted on maps dating back to the 16th century, but its exact location and existence have been the subject of debate and speculation for centuries. According to historical accounts, Bermuda was described as a small island with rocky cliffs and sparse vegetation. Located in the waters between the Yucatan Peninsula and the northern coast of the Mexican state of Veracruz, the island was purportedly rich in natural resources, including valuable deposits of oil and other minerals. Despite numerous attempts to locate Bermuda over the centuries, including expeditions by Spanish explorers and later efforts by the Mexican government, the island remained elusive and its existence unconfirmed. In the early 20th century, the Mexican government conducted a comprehensive survey of the Gulf of Mexico, but failed to find any trace of Bermuda. The mystery of Bermuda deepened in the 20th century when geopolitical disputes arose over the ownership of oil-rich areas in the Gulf of Mexico. The location of Bermuda became a point of contention between Mexico and the United States, with both countries claiming territorial rights to the area where the island was believed to be located. In the 1990s, the Mexican government conducted satellite surveys and aerial reconnaissance missions in an attempt to locate Bermuda, but again, no evidence of the island's existence was found. In as recent of 2009, the Mexican government officially declared Bermuda to be a phantom island, acknowledging that it could not be located despite extensive efforts to find it. The Baltic Sea Anomaly. The Baltic Sea Anomaly refers to a mysterious object discovered at the bottom of the Baltic Sea in June 2011 by a Swedish-based diving team known as the Ocean X Team. The object, which garnered widespread attention, was initially detected using sonar equipment during a survey of the seabed off the coast of Sweden. The Baltic Sea Anomaly is described as a roughly circular or oval-shaped structure with a diameter of about 60 meters, which is 200 feet, and a height of approximately 4 to 5 meters, which is 13 to 16 feet. It appears to have a stone-like appearance and is located at a depth of around 85 to 90 meters, which is 280 to 300 feet, on the seabed. The discovery of the Baltic Sea Anomaly sparked intense speculation about its origins and nature and what it even is. Some people suggested that it could have been a natural geological formation such as a glacial deposit or underwater rock formation, while others speculated that it might have been an ancient archaeological site or even the remnants of an extraterrestrial spacecraft. In the years following its discovery, several expeditions and investigations were conducted to study the Baltic Sea Anomaly and attempt to determine its identity. These efforts included underwater surveys, sonar mapping, and even robotic exploration of the site. However, despite these investigations, the true nature of the Baltic Sea Anomaly remains unclear, and no definitive explanation has been reached. Some researchers have proposed more mundane explanations for the anomaly, such as a natural geological feature or a shipwreck covered in sediment, while others continue to speculate about more exotic possibilities. Ningen. The Ningen is a cryptid or legendary creature that is said to inhabit the icy waters of the Antarctic Ocean, particularly in the region known as the Antarctic Sound. The word Ningen is Japanese and translates to human in English, reflecting the creature's purported humanoid appearance. Descriptions of the Ningen vary, but it is generally described as a massive humanoid creature with pale, bluish-white skin, a large head, and elongated arms and fingers, so it's pretty goofy looking. Some accounts claim that it has facial features resembling those of humans, including eyes, a mouth, and nose, and others described it as more of a ghost-like in appearance. The legend of the Ningen originated in Japanese internet forums and online communities in the early 2000s, where alleged sightings and encounters with the creature were shared and discussed. According to these accounts, the Ningen is said to be a mysterious and elusive creature that is rarely seen by humans. Despite its origins as an internet phenomenon, the legend of the Ningen has captured the imagination of people around the world and on the internet, leading to the speculation and debate about its existence and origins. Some believe that the Ningen could be a previously unknown species of marine animal adapted to live in the frigid waters of the Antarctic, while others just dismiss it as a hoax or a product of the human imagination. And, most likely it's a hoax because how often do people even go up in the Arctic Ocean? I don't know. I just think it's a hoax. I think most cryptids are hoax, but this one, pretty obviously a hoax. But if you believe in it, cool. Cosmic Ocean. The concept of the cosmic ocean is more of a metaphorical and philosophical idea that has been explored in various cultures and belief systems throughout history. The cosmic ocean represents the vast and boundless expanse of the universe, likening it to the endless ocean teeming with galaxies, stars, planets, and other celestial bodies. In many ancient cultures, the idea of a cosmic ocean was often intertwined with creation myths and cosmological beliefs, symbolizing the waters from where the universe emerged. Such as in Hindu mythology, for example, the god Vishnu is often depicted as floating on the cosmic ocean before the creation of the world, while in ancient Egyptian mythology, the deity Nun represented the watery abyss from which all life arose. The concept of the cosmic ocean has just been explored in also modern scientific and philosophical contexts, so just not ancient particularly in discussions about the nature of the universe, the origins of existence, and the interconnectedness of all things. It's just kind of talked about in philosophical contexts. It also serves as a metaphor for the interconnectedness of the cosmos, highlighting the idea that everything in the universe is connected and part of a larger whole. Untouchable bathysphere fish. The untouchable bathysphere fish, as described by American naturalist William Beebe in 1932, encompasses several intriguing species observed during deep-sea explorations off the coast of Bermuda. Among these are the five-lined constellation fish, the pallid sailfin, the giant dragonfish, the abyssal rainbow gar, and the three-starred anglerfish. The five-lined constellation fish, initially observed at a depth of about 1,900 feet, is described by Beebe as a discoidal in shape, with a large continuous vertical fin, brownish skin, and 5 lines of photophores emitting a pale yellow bioluminescence outlined with light blue rings and a bright purple semicircle. The pallid sailfish, encountered at a depth of about 1,500 feet, is characterized by its lack of bioluminescence, small eye, and good-sized mouth. It possesses a long pectoral fin and exhibits a pale olive coloration, lacking any sort of tail, and also featuring colorless pectoral fins. The giant dragonfish, observed at 2,100 feet, measures at least 6 feet in length, so it's pretty big, and resembles a large barracuda with wide open jaws lined with pale bluish lights along its body. It features large eyes, an underbite with numerous fangs illuminated by mucus or internal bioluminescence, and 2 long tentacles tipped with luminous bulbs. The abyssal rainbow gar, noted at a depth of about 2,500 feet, comprises 4 slender fish with pointed jaws and stiffly extended bodies, exhibiting bright scarlet heads and blue tails transitioning into a strong yellow coloration. Their colors are illuminated by the electric lamp of the bathysphere. The 3-starred anglerfish, encountered about 2,470 feet, 2,470 feet, resembles genera Serratus and Cryptospartus, but possesses a flattened mouth and short, even teeth. It exhibits 3 tall tentacles tipped with strong, pale yellow light organs and 2 pear-shaped organs resembling those of Cryptospartus. These descriptions offer tantalizing glimpses into the weird creatures that inhabit the depths of the ocean. And I don't really know what any of these fish had to do with each other, but that's what the entry was, and I hope this made a decent amount of sense. Alright, now on to Tier 8. Eltanin antenna. The Eltanin antenna is a concept that emerged from a mysterious anomaly detected during the Eltanin expedition in the Southern Ocean in 1964. The Eltanin expedition was a scientific research voyage conducted by the United States Navy to study the oceanography and marine life of the Antarctica region. During this expedition, researchers aboard the USNS Eltanin, a research vessel equipped with sonar equipment, detected an unusual acoustic anomaly on the ocean floor. This anomaly appeared to be a highly reflective structure rising from the seabed, resembling an antenna or tower, which is obviously really weird seen at the bottom of the ocean, so people had no idea what this was. The discovery of the Eltanin antenna sparked speculation and intrigue among researchers and enthusiasts and just people who knew about it, who proposed various theories to explain its origin and purpose. Some people suggested that it could be a natural geological formation such as a volcanic seamount or underwater mountain, and others speculated that it might be an artificial structure or extraterrestrial origin. However, due to the limited technology and resources available at the time, further investigation of the Elton antenna was challenging, with no conclusive evidence being obtained to determine its nature definitively. As a result, the anomaly remains shrouded in mystery to this day, but why don't people just go back right now and be like, oh yeah, this was, an extraterrestrial thing, or was it just a mountain or something? So why don't they visit back right now? But I don't know. Let me know if you know anything else down below. Where do eels come from? And this one is a really, really long entry because I looked up where do eels come from and found this super long story. So I'll just try to summarize the story and tell the story on where do eels come from. It's actually an interesting kind of story. All right, so in the spring of 1876, a young man of 19 arrived in the seaside city of Trieste and set about a curious task. Every morning, as the fishermen brought in their catch, he went to meet them at a port, where he brought eels by the dozens and then the hundreds. He carried them home to a dissection table in a corner of his room, and from 8 until noon, when he broke for lunch, he then again from 1 until 6. Then, when he quit for the day and went on to ogle the women of Trieste on the street, he diligently swashed away in search for the gonads. Quote, "My hands are stained by the white and red blood of sea creatures," he wrote to a friend. "All I see when I close my eyes is the shimmering dead tissue which haunts my dreams. And all I can think about are the big questions, the ones that go hand in hand with testicles and ovaries, the universal pivotal questions." The young man, whose name was Sigmund Freud, eventually following his evolving questions in other directions. But in Trieste, elbow deep in slime, he hoped to be the first person to find what men of science had been seeking for thousands of years: the testicles of an eel. To see them would be, to begin, a profound mystery, one that had stumped Aristotle and countless successors throughout the history of natural science. Where do eels come from? The 19th century had brought Darwin and Mendel, Pasteur and Mendelve, and a growing sense that scientists, a word coined only in the 1830s, with their studies and their systems and their microscopes, were at least equal to solving the great quandaries of the natural world. Questions that had befuddled mankind for centuries: where life comes from, what it is made of, how it changes, and why it ends, were now seen as knowable, quantifiable, and explicable. Just 2 years before Freud arrived in Trieste, the German biologist Max Schulze, lying on his deathbed, observed, perhaps wistfully, that he was leaving a world where all the important questions had now been settled. All of them, that is, except the eel question. What could be more ordinary than an eel? Not so long ago, European eels, anguilla, were widely eaten. In Sweden, they might be smoked, braised in beer, or fried in butter. In Italy, boiled in tomato sauce. In England, jellied in stock, or fried with eggs into an elver cake. They were a simple and abundant food enjoyed by members of the poorer classes, like the Cockney woman described in King Lear, who accidentally puts them in a pie still alive. People caught eels in brooks, rivers, lakes, and sea. They were everywhere. They also caught them, inexplicably, in ponds that dried out and refilled each year, and that had no access to other bodies of water. They couldn't help but notice that the creatures seemed to have no ovaries, no testicles, no eggs, no milt, that they were never observed to mate, that they sometimes seemed to issue from the earth itself. Eels were unaccountable, and so, writes the Swedish journalist Patrick Svensson in the Books of Eels, an unusual and beguiling guide to an unusual and beguiling animal. It fell to us to try our best to account for them. The ancient Egyptians believed that eels were produced by the sun warming the Nile. Aristotle decided that eels emerged spontaneously from mud and rainwater. Pliny the Elder thought that new eels developed when old eels rubbed away parts of their bodies on rocks, and as late as the 1860s, a Scottish author espoused an old belief that they began their life as beetles. Some believed eels were born of sea foam, Svensson writes, or created when the rays of the sun fell on certain kind of dew that covered lake shores and riverbanks in the spring. In the English countryside where eel fishing was popular, Most people adhered to the theory that eels were born when hairs from horses' tails fell into the water. The truth emerged only slowly, and was, in its own slippery way, stranger than fiction. Careful observers discovered that what had long been taken for several different kinds of animals were in fact just one. The eel was a creature of metamorphosis, transforming itself over the course of its life into 4 distinct beings: a tiny gossamer larvae with huge eyes, floating toward Europe in the open seas; a shimmering glass eel known as an elver, a few inches in length with visible insides, making its way along coasts and up rivers; a yellow-brown eel that you might catch in some sort of pond, which can move across dry land, hibernate in mud until you've forgotten it was even there, and live quietly for half a century in a single place. And finally, the silver eel, a long, powerful mussel that ripples its way back to sea. When this last metamorphosis happens, the eel's stomach dissolves, it will travel thousands of miles on its own fat reserves alone, and its reproductive organs develop for the first time. In the eels of Europe, no one could find these organs because they did not yet exist. But even as these answers were arrived at, the eel question, as it was widely known, proved to be as changeable as the eel. It seemed to be forever unsolvable. For behind any eel answer, there was always another eel question, shrouded by more layers of mystery. Quote, "We know, then, that the old eels vanish from our ken into the sea, and that the sea sends us, in return, innumerable hosts of elvers," end quote. A Danish researcher, Johannes Schmidt, wrote, quote, "But whither have they wandered, these old eels, and whence have the whelvers come?" Schmidt became consumed by his questions. In 1904, he left his family in Copenhagen and set out to scour the seas for the very smallest of eels. For 7 years, he trawled the coast of Europe. He only found larger larvae. For another 3 years, he enlisted shipping companies to net larvae as they plied the North Atlantic, and turned his own schooner west and south. Net by net, he mapped the ocean according to which parts of it contained eel larvae, and how large those larvae were, until the tiniest ones led him to their origin point. It was a slow process, made slower by a shipwreck and a world war. Finally, 19 years after he first set out, Schmidt announced his findings. Quote, "How long the journey lasts we cannot say," he wrote, summoning the grandeur warranted by the occasion. "But we now know that the destination sought, a certain area situated in the western Atlantic, northeast and north of the West Indies. Here lies the breeding grounds of the eel." Schmidt had traced the Anguilla to the Sargasso Sea, a sea without a sea, a garden of seaweed bounded not by land, but by great currents of water. The American eel breeds there as well, but it is still something of a mystery how the larvae, all mixed together but genetically distinct, know which continent is their future home. The Japanese eel has its own breeding grounds in the Pacific, and another famous freshwater eel, the electric one of South America, is not an actual eel at all, it's kind of a knife fish. Schmidt's discovery was an answer, and in the past century, no one has successfully challenged it. That European eels come from the Sargasso Sea remains the official word of science. But as with that sea and the animal born there, the boundaries of this knowledge are fluid and strange. Many expeditions have followed Schmidt to the breeding grounds in the decades since his discovery, but the intricacies of the eel's life cycle and migration patterns continue to intrigue and perplex scientists. Despite Johannes Schmidt's groundbreaking revelation, the mystery of the eel persists in the collective imagination. Its life cycle, spanning vast distances and encompassing multiple metamorphoses, captures the human fascination with the unknown and the uncanny. From ancient myths and folk tales to modern scientific inquiry, the eel has been a symbol of mystery and transformation. Sigmund Freud's quest for the testicles of an eel may seem absurd in retrospect, but it reflects a deeper human impulse to understand the natural world and unlock its secrets. In the case of the eel, those secrets have proven elusive, challenging generations of scholars and scientists to unravel its mysteries. From the ancient Egyptians' belief in the sun-warmed Nile as a source of eels to Aristotle's theory of spontaneous generation, humans have long sought to explain the origins of this mysterious creature. Even today, with modern scientific tools and techniques at our disposal, the eel continues to defy easy explanation, reminding us of the enduring allure of the unknown. In Patrick Svenson's The Book of the Eels, we encounter not just a scientific exploration of the eel's biology, but also a meditation of the nature of mystery itself. As we delve into the depths of the ocean and the recesses of our own mind, we are confronted with the limits of human knowledge and the boundless mysteries that remain beyond our grasp. In the end, perhaps the true fascination of the eel lies not in its origins or its biology, but in the questions it raises about our place in the natural world and the limits of our understanding. Like Freud and Triste, we are not in all seekers of knowledge, drawn to the mysteries that lie just beyond our reach, and in the elusive figure of the eel, we find a symbol of our own eternal quest for understanding in a world that will always remain, to some extent, unknowable. And wow, that was the Ocean Iceberg Explained. I definitely like this one a lot more than the one I made a few months back. I mean, that last entry got like philosophical and crazy. Like, who knew eels were that, thought-provoking? That was a really cool entry, and I'm glad I went that deep into it and explained the story. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did as well. I really like this iceberg a lot. And if you're still watching, consider subscribing to the channel. It helps a lot, and liking the video, because that also helps a lot. And maybe join and become a member if you want to. It's up to you. You don't have to, of course. But yeah, thank you for watching all the way to the end. And yeah, until next time, see ya.